Action.
Maybe action doesn't work. It just makes us laugh.
Okay, so today I I come to Elizabeth's house and bring her a very nice camera. And the first that she looked at it, she said,
Oh, it's Canon.
"I thought it's a very good
It's a
camera."
very good camera.
Mm-hmm. But
It's
you don't like
Canon.
it? You don't like it?
I'm a Nikon girl.
Oh.
All of my gear is in
Mm-hmm.
Nikon, and so
So so excuse me that I don't have any knowledge on camera and photographer. So Canon and both Canon and Nikon are very good camera brand.
yeah, they're the top camera brands.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
So
I would say that from my experience over time, it seems that Canon is overtaking the market. When I first got into Canon and Nikon, when I first was choosing between them, they were
mm-hmm,
very equal. They were
mm-hmm.
very equal when I was
Like
first choosing between them.
how long it's how long ago?
Oh, this was like
10 years ago?
2005.
Wow, that's a long time ago.
Oh my god, that was almost 20 years ago.
Oh wow.
Oh dear.
So
Oh dear. That was 20 years ago. So I had gotten one of these big, heavy cameras, and I
mhm,
had gotten a purse specifically to store the camera. And so I brought my camera with me everywhere because this
mm,
was before smartphones could take good photos.
mhm,
And then out over the years, I would not bring it as often. I would use the smartphones got better and better. I would start using them more often, and then I just stopped bringing my camera with me everywhere. And then it just became special occasions.
mhm,
And now the camera has sat there, not collecting dust because it's in a nice bag.
mhm.
The bag is collecting dust, and unfortunately, the camera is now so old
Mhm.
that the rubber on it is
Oh,
melting and coming
oh,
off. And so now it feels horrible to hold because
yeah,
it's so old.
yeah.
And I wish there was some way that I could replace it. But
So is it still usable?
yeah, as a camera, it's usable. It just does not feel good to hold it because it gets sticky on the hands.
Okay. So if
And also, I
you,
have like 4 cameras.
oh, oh my God. Oh, that's
All
why it's like
Nikon.
$12,000
Yeah, yeah,
total in total,
yeah.
right?
So I have two D70
Mm-hmm.
Nikon D70s, and then I have one. I don't remember what it was. Maybe it's a D700. Yeah, I think
Mm-hmm.
it might be a D700 Nikon. And then
Mm-hmm.
I have an F100, which is a film camera.
So especially for recording.
Yeah,
Wow, we can use that,
yeah.
right?
No, it's a film camera, as in it uses film instead of digital.
Oh, film. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
also with the two D70s, one I use for doing telephoto because the smaller sensor
Mm-hmm.
makes telephoto just a little bit better on the D70. And then the
Mm-hmm.
other D70 has been converted to be an infrared camera.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sort of like black and white, but different.
Oh,
So it's
I
so
see.
it's just dedicated to only. I went in and I altered the sensor's filter.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually opened up the camera and altered this filter,
Oh.
and now it shoots only infrared. And then the
Mm-hmm.
D700 has the bigger sensor, and so that's for just everyday photography. And then the film I had gotten because I got really into infrared photography, and so that was for being able to use infrared film. It's like the black and white, but different. It
Oh.
just it records a different wavelength.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like for example, like skin is very white.
Uh-huh.
Leaves come out white.
Uh-huh.
So, like if you take a picture of a tree in
Mm-hmm.
infrared, the leaves will come out white. But if you take it in regular black and white, like it'll
Mm-hmm.
come out gray. So it's
Hmm.
different.
Speaking of Nikon, I think of something. So this year on January, my husband and I, we went to Las Vegas to to the CES show. So on the show, there are a lot of people coming from all over the world, and Nikon, I think they are. It's a really like a good company that how to do business. You know what? Because everyone can get a free bag from the CES. They offer you free bags, recycled bag that you can walk around and take a lot of free stuff.
Swag. Swag.
What's that?
Oh, free stuff. Random free stuff that you get at a show.
Yeah,
Swag.
swag. All this
S
and
W A G. Swag.
swag. Okay, yeah. So yeah, you can get a lot of swag.
You don't have to use the word if you don't like it.
Swag. I like it. I like to learn new words. So yeah, you can get a lot of swags from the show. The
Probably because
CES.
they're trying to catch up to Canon because Canon has usurped them.
Yeah, and Nikon they offered the free bags so that you can put all your free things in the bag. So at the CES show, everyone got a Nikon bag, a very yellow bag. So yeah, I think it's a very clever company that they did this
Mm-hmm.
because everyone knew Nikon is everywhere. Everyone has a bag. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, they're
So
trying to make sure they're still considered relevant
yeah, yeah.
after Canon usurped them.
Mm-hmm. Kodak, Kodak
Kodak.
picture. Yeah,
Yep.
Kodak.
Yeah, those. Yeah, at least last time I did research on photography, they were also coming back.
Yeah. So they did a great job on the show because you know what? They offered a free picture for you and you can print it out and take it home.
Nice.
And I think it's coming back. It's did much better than before. I thought it's already broken up the company bankrupt bankrupt.
Yeah, I know that they were struggling as the age of digital came over because they were really known for their film.
Yeah.
So they were really struggling to uh, transition over to the new digital world.
But right now I think it comes back still with their film thing because you can take the picture and print it out immediately.
Yep, yep. They're uh,
Hmm.
they're trying to innovate. They're trying to be relevant.
When I came to your place this afternoon, I saw a big box of cookie on your table. What's
Yep.
that about?
Yeah, I bought 12 boxes of Girl Scout cookies, tag
12,
alongs.
12,
12 of these.
12 of this.
Mm-hmm.
So the big box contains 12
Yeah.
small
Yep.
boxes. It says Girl Scout cookies.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a brand?
Yeah. So the Girl Scouts are like an American scouting thing for young girls,
Mm-hmm.
and they sell cookies once a year. And
Once a year.
yeah, and you can
Mm-hmm.
only get the cookies through Girl Scouts. Unfortunately, my husband's coworker has two little Girl Scouts, and so we were able to get some cookies this year. And
Oh.
I always buy like a whole bunch, like 12 or something like that, because what I do
Mm-hmm.
is it takes me about 6 months to eat them
Oh. Wow.
because I eat like one or two a day,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. Same thing
Oh.
with eating my Twix bar slowly, my Reese's slowly. I eat just one or two Girl Scout cookies a day, and it lasts me like roughly 6 months.
Oh, wow. I wonder what's black inside. So this one is peanut butter
Yeah,
inside.
of course, peanut butter is my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with the Reese's.
Okay. So girls Scouts cookie. So every girl who is in the Girl Scouts, they can they can sell this. Do they make themselves the
Mm-mm.
cookie?
No, so the Girl Scout, as an organization,
Mm-hmm.
has their cookie manufacturing,
Mm.
and they do not sell it to anyone else. Only Girl Scouts can directly buy the cookies, and then they resell the cookies to people in their neighborhood.
Oh, okay. So they have their own factory, and then the girls from the Girl Scouts can resell it.
Mhm.
Are they all the same cookie or
There's
different?
many different types. Yeah.
So the person or the girls who sell them can choose whatever kinds of cookies they want to sell.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, so generally the approach is that the girl goes to a customer and asks the customer, what cookies do you want and how many?
Mm-hmm.
And then they put in their order,
Mm-hmm.
and then they submit the order to the Girl Scout organization. The
Oh.
organization then ships them the product, and then the girl goes back to the customer and gives it to them. And so that's what
Mm.
happened with these. Um,
Mm.
my husband's coworker came to one of our parties,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone bought Girl Scout cookies at the party. And of course, I bought
Wow.
mine. I was so happy.
Oh.
And then just today, he and his girls came by and delivered
Oh, so they will deliver it for you.
them. Mhm. Yeah, that's part of the process. So part of the process is to teach the girls about customer service, about
Mm-hmm.
talking to a customer, taking orders, managing the inventory, and
Hmm.
then delivery.
Oh, so the organization first needs to send the cookies to the girls
Mm-hmm.
to their place,
Mm-hmm.
and then the girls will deliver it herself for you.
Mm-hmm.
Also, they can't sell them to other, like they can't sell it online or something.
Yeah, I think there's probably a prohibition to sell it on Amazon or something.
Oh, okay, okay. So it's the purpose of this process is to teach them how to sell things.
Yeah.
Yes. So when this Girl Scouts organization was established,
I know. When were the Girl Scouts established?
March 12, 1912, Savannah, Georgia.
So they're over
oh,
100 years old.
oh, wow. So every girl can join it.
Mm-hmm. There's different chapters. And so you have like your local chapter, which is usually run by parents, local parents.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and and they do stuff. So like when I was a kid, mostly what they did was
Mm-hmm.
and selling cookies, which
Yeah,
was
I
just
saw that very often on the street. They
yeah,
said, "Do you want cookie or drinks?"
yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Or
which is not what I
lemon.
wanted to do. I wanted to join the Boy Scouts because
Oh,
I
that's.
wanted to go camping, and I wanted to learn to make fires and set up camps and learn hiking and learn about nature
Mm-hmm.
and all of those things. I wanted to do that stuff,
Mm.
but but I was only eligible to go into the Girl Scouts, which was baking. At least my
Mm.
local Girl Scouts, like they pretty much did only baking and sewing and household stuff, which is not what I wanted. I wanted to
Oh.
go into the woods.
Mm. That's cool. Yeah, so you have Girl Scouts, and Boy Scouts, and it's kind of the same purpose. the organizations have the same purpose.
They're similar, but they're not the same. Because, like I said, they have the different activities.
Oh, okay. Girls do like cooking, sorry, baking, making drinks or something.
Yeah,
And boys are going to the woods
yeah. So that's
to.
how it was when I was growing up. And
Uh-huh.
also, it does depend on your local chapters.
Mm-hmm.
So there are chapters where Girl Scouts will go camping and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
but it just wasn't as predominant as it was with the Boy Scouts. And so
Oh,
now there's a controversy because the Boy Scouts have now switched to being just the Scouts so that they're gender inclusive.
oh.
Which
So they
I,
changed their name
yeah, so,
to Scots only.
yeah. So I'm very happy about that because I was so disappointed and upset as a kid. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
had a lot of friends who were boys and
Uh-huh.
they were going into the Boy Scouts and I couldn't join them and I felt very excluded. You know, we were a
Oh.
close-knit group of friends and I think that we would have remained being a close-knit group of friends if I could have done activities, continued doing activities with them like the Boy Scouts. But I wasn't
Yeah.
allowed because I was a girl, so they segregated us, which really
Oh.
hampered our friendships,
Oh yeah.
you know, and really made me sad and upset that I couldn't do things with my friends just because I was a girl.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very happy that the Scouts have become inclusive so that, you know, no more girls have to experience what I went through.
Yeah, I'm
But
happy
there are
too.
people who are very upset that there's now not like a boy only space.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that a boy only space is okay, a girl only space is okay, but there
Mm-hmm.
should be an inclusive space so that if there are mixed group of friends, they can do
Yeah.
things together.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe some boys they also want to try baking,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Right. So
I mean,
yeah,
who doesn't want to make brownies, you know?
yeah, I agree with you. Like they can have some kind of mix,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that the Scouts have decided to integrate.
Mm-hmm.
But some people are very upset about it. So my
What?
dysautonomia makes me overheat.
Oh, overheat.
Mhm.
Okay. So you never have the chance to feel cold.
Oh, I do. So when I'm
Mm-hmm.
still, I get
Mm-hmm.
cold. When I move, I overheat. So I have no
Oh,
temperature regulation.
oh, how come?
It's the dysautonomia. My autonomic system isn't regulating my temperature. It doesn't properly regulate my heart rate. It also
Oh.
doesn't properly regulate my sweating and my hydration level
Mm.
and my mucous membranes, and it doesn't regulate any of that stuff properly.
When did you find this out?
I was finally diagnosed with it in 2018, but it's
2018?
yeah,
That's not too long ago.
yeah, but it's suspected that I've had it since like 2012, 2011.
Oh, so since your migraine.
Yeah, so suspected that it might be caused by a traumatic brain injury because in
Hmm.
2011 I had an accident where I hit my head.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of accident?
I was running
Uh-huh.
with a 50-pound backpack, which was filled with camera gear.
Oh,
Speaking of the cameras that I carried around with me everywhere,
oh no,
I carried
50 pounds.
of camera gear. Yeah,
Oh,
that I carried around with me everywhere.
wow.
This is 2011.
So you did it to make a living or you just
No, because I just wanted to have a nice camera whenever I wanted to take a photo.
wow.
So I carried this backpack with me everywhere, filled with
Oh,
camera gear.
oh, okay. And then
I was running
mm-hmm,
on the sidewalk
mm-hmm,
and I was trying to catch the bus
mm-hmm.
and I tripped and I fell. And I had both hands in the
Mm.
straps of the bag, so I
Oh,
couldn't break my fall. Because then I tried to break my fall. I ended up breaking this thumb
oh,
because of just trying to break my fall. So I ended up falling face first into the pavement.
oh,
Yeah, I
oh,
have a scar on my chin, and I also cracked my sinuses into my orbital socket.
oh, that's very Serious
Yeah,
accident.
it was a pretty serious accident. Yeah.
Oh,
And so
okay.
it's suspected that I got a traumatic brain injury from the accident,
Uh-huh.
and that it took about a year for my body to decompensate and no longer be able to manage uh, the everything, because it's like heart rate, mucous membranes, hydration level,
That's right.
heart rate.
Also.
Yeah, if I don't, yeah, so my heart like starts like fluttering.
Oh no, that's very.
So I take medication to help keep me hydrated. So
Mhm.
now my mucous membranes are properly hydrated. I now sweat,
Mhm.
um, and my temperature regulation is a lot better. I
Mhm.
used to have to keep everything very, very cold.
So do
Yeah.
you think your migraine also caused by this?
Yeah, I think the migraines were a side effect of the dysautonomia. I think it was
Oh,
mostly the dehydration.
oh,
Because
that's
if you think about it, like I did notice there was a connection between the the mucus level in my sinuses and my headaches,
mhm.
and it was because my sinuses were so dry
Mhm.
that the nerves were exposed,
Mhm.
and so breathing hurt
Mhm.
because nerves were so exposed. Now, normally the nerves in your sinuses are
Mhm.
covered in a protective layer of mucus,
Mhm.
but I wasn't producing enough mucus. Uh,
Because of lacking of water.
a lacking of hydration. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It took from 2012 when the symptoms first started until 2018 to get
Diagnosed.
a diagnosis. Yeah,
So the doctors didn't know the reason.
I had no idea. So what happened was I had moved from San Francisco to the peninsula, and
Mhm.
so I had to change my um, medical facility from UCSF to Stanford.
Yes.
And so in that intake at Stanford, transitioning from UCSF to Stanford, during the intake process at Stanford, they I was describing my symptoms,
Mhm.
and they said, "Oh, you know what? You sound like just like the patients of this other doctor."
Oh.
I was like, "What?"
Uh-huh.
No one has said that they know that they've heard of anyone like me, and now you're saying that there's a doctor who sees multiple other versions of me.
Oh.
And so I went. So she gave me a reference to him. I went to go
Uh-huh.
see that guy, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you're just like all my other patients."
Oh, okay.
So
So
yeah,
in Stanford, it's more common.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, it really just depends on the research that doctors are doing. It's rare enough that it depends on the research that particular doctors are doing. And so this particular doctor
Mm-hmm.
identified this subset of symptoms and how to treat it. Yeah, I'm
Oh,
still I'm still recovering, but I'm getting better. Every 6 months, I'm better than I was 6 months prior. I'm just amused that we're all branded about spilling tea and drinking tea and having tea together. And here
mm.
we are drinking Coke.
Yes, but I'm drinking zero sugar.
I'm drinking full sugar.
I think this can
We
be
talk about tarot.
yeah, tarot. Okay, I know not. I think yeah, you can do most of the talking. Like if I have questions,
Yeah.
right?
Let me
Because
grab a couple tarot decks.
I just know nothing about tarot. Wow, you have four
Oh no,
decks.
this is a small subset.
Huh. Great. Keepers. So, how do you read this?
Tarot.
Tarot. No T.
Nope,
Tarot.
just tarot.
Tarot. But why there is a T?
Probably because it's French. One of my passions is tarot cards.
Tarot cards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Emily is unfamiliar with it. So let's walk through the whole concept of tarot.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
as you can tell, tarot is a deck. This is a small deck.
Mm-hmm.
Um, And so tarot is a deck of cards,
Mm.
and there's images on all the cards.
Mhm.
And there's 78 cards in a tarot deck.
78?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot,
Yeah.
right? I so so when I first saw tarot, the whole deck thing, I think it makes me think of the poker. Can I think of this as a kind of poker?
So they are related.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. We don't know which came first around the world. There has been some research into trying to figure out the evolution of cards.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but effectively, a subset of tarot is the typical poker deck.
Really?
Yeah, so it still has the four suits.
Uh-huh.
It still goes 1 through 10,
Uh-huh.
plus a couple court cards.
Uh-huh. Oh, so poker cards may be originated from tarot.
Yeah, we don't know which came first.
Huh.
So yeah, but there
Hmm.
is a theory that tarot is a combination of like the playing card, poker card type,
Mm-hmm.
and another type, which may be more easily explained as an oracle.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Okay, cool.
so tarot cards are always 78 cards,
78
and they have a specific structure. Uh,
specific.
there's two categories.
Mm-hmm.
One is called the major arcana, or the major mysteries.
Mm-hmm.
The other is called the minor arcana, or the minor mysteries.
Huh.
The minor arcana
Mm.
is more closely to the typical poker deck.
Huh.
So it has that structure. So the minor arcana has the same structure of the four suits,
Mm-hmm.
1 through 10 plus court cards. So in poker, it's the king, the queen, and the jack.
Yes. That's
And
called court.
court, Court, court.
C-O. Oh, court. Court card.
Mm-hmm. Back in the days of like kings and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
there would be the king's court,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's like basically his primary consultants.
Oh, I see.
And so I think that's also where the term court, like a court of law,
Mm-hmm.
comes from, because originally the kings were the
Mm.
court,
I
how we
see.
consider it now. But then there's
Mm-hmm.
the court, which is like a group, which is like a
Mm-hmm.
group of nobles or people or something like that.
But when I think of court, the English word, I think of like legal things. Like
Yeah,
people go to the court when they have a legal issue.
yeah. I think
Are
it's
they the
because
same?
originally,
Mm-hmm.
before there was legal court,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you went to the king to solve issues.
Oh, okay. You went to the king, and the king did the thing in the court, right?
Yeah, so his court. So when
Mm-hmm.
you would go to court
Mm-hmm.
back in the day before court of law, there was only the court of the king.
Uh-huh.
Um, and so you would go to the court of the king to have your problem solved.
Yeah.
And so
Yes.
now we don't have court of the kings anymore. We only
Uh-huh.
have court of law.
Yes.
And so now, in day to day parlance, court just refers to court of law.
Nice. Well explained.
Yeah, so these cards, like the origin of these cards, are from the days of Court of Kings.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so court in the cards is referring to the king, queen, jack.
Hmm.
And
King.
and in tarot, it's king, queen, sometimes princess and prince.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes it's father, mother, daughter, son.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's knight, queen, uh, prince, princess.
Oh, so some identities in the king's card.
Yeah. The minor arcana is composed of cards 1 through 10, and then the 4 court cards. And the 4 court cards are, as I was describing before, most commonly it's king, queen, knight, page.
King, queen, knight, page.
Yeah.
What's
So
page?
page is also a position sort of in the court. A page is an assistant. Yeah, it's an assistant. It's usually a young person who is an assistant to like a knight or to the king, or they're just a young person who's assisting a person of a higher position. This deck that we're holding, it's called the Rider-Waite-Smith deck.
Waite
Smith
me
deck. So those are 3 names. Rider was the publisher. Waite was the author.
Waite. Okay.
And then Smith is the artist. And so this is called the Rider-Waite-Smith deck.
Okay, so 3 names in the name.
So it's just talking about the 3 important people that were instrumental to making this deck a reality.
Okay.
So this is kind of considered the default deck of the modern times.
The default deck of
modern times. So this deck was developed in the early 1900s.
1900. Wow, that's also a long time ago.
Yeah, it's over 100 years old. I believe it was 1912.
Yeah. Over 100.
Yeah. Okay. So this deck has become effectively the default deck. Everything references this deck. Like, so if you're studying tarot, it's important to have an understanding of this deck. If you're going to be studying multiple decks, it's important to have an understanding of this deck.
Oh, okay. So this is like the mother deck.
Kind of, yeah. They kind of distilled the concept of tarot, really kind of structured it, and then they were definitely the first ones to put images on all of the cards. Like this is the 2 of Cups, and this was the first deck to put images on what they call pips. So the pip cards are the cards that are 1 through 10 for the 4 suits. This is a pip card, and because it's the number 2 of the suit of cups. So there are 4 suits: wands, swords, cups. Yeah.
Wands, swords.
Yeah, like Harry Potter's wand.
Okay.
Swords.
Swords, the long one.
Cups.
Cups.
Like a cup.
Oh, drinking.
Yeah, like a drinking cup.
Oh, okay.
Cups. And pentacles.
Pentacle.
Yeah. It is a star in a circle. These are the stars and circles.
Oh, what's this called?
It's called a pentacle.
Does this pentacle has anything with pentagon?
Yeah, because it's pent is 5, so it's a 5-pointed star. So pentacle is a 5-pointed star. Pentagon is a 5-pointed polygon.
So this is pentacle.
Pentacle. Yeah, and in a circle. Pentacle.
How do you spell it? Pentacle.
Pentacle.
But I think it has nothing to do with like the cups, the sword, and the wand. It's like pentacles.
So a
What do you say?
pentacle, it's a it's a star on a disc, effectively. So it's a star in a circle.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like in tarot, it's kind of considered like an object. So that's why like she's holding this
Mm-hmm.
object.
Yes.
So it's a disc, and she's holding it.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and also Pentacles is one of the suits that is often renamed. So
Mhm.
in many decks, it's called a different name. So
And
another
because
common name is called coins.
queens,
Coins,
coins.
as in
Oh.
change coins.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Another common one is earth or rocks.
Earth. Rocks.
Yeah.
Oh, why did you change it to
Um,
these
because
names?
there's no like really like name that everyone loves.
What about the other three? The
So
swords.
so swords, almost everyone uses swords.
Mm-hmm. Cups
And cups or chalices.
or chalices.
Yeah, it's another way of saying a cup. So, but generally, a chalice is almost like a wine glass, but a little
Mm-hmm.
heftier. Hefty, heftier. So, like a thicker material.
Uh-huh.
So it's like a wine glass, but a thicker material than glass. And that would be a chalice.
It's a modern thing.
Chalices
Modern,
are ancient concept.
ancient concept. Is
Yeah,
it made of metal?
any type of material. But it's just
Oh,
usually not as thin and delicate as glass. It's usually a thicker, hardier material.
oh,
But
I
it's like the
see.
shape of a wine glass. And
Mm.
so it would be called a chalice.
Okay. What about the other sword
So
and wand?
wands is pretty popular.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's called staves.
Stave?
Yeah, like a staff.
Uh-huh. Staff. Staff is a person. Staff.
No, staff is a like a walking stick.
Staff?
Mhm.
Never heard of
Yeah,
these
these are all
words.
very ancient words, ancient concepts. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah. These are a
Staff.
lot of these concepts come from the Middle Ages.
Okay. It's- I need to
Yeah,
learn a lot.
yeah,
It's you can never stop learning,
yeah.
right? Staff means like ancient thing of
Walking stick.
walking stick.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Uh, like the Lord of the Rings
Mm-hmm.
and Gandalf the wizard
Mm-hmm.
had this long stick.
Mm-hmm.
That's a staff.
Oh.
And sometimes like in multiple, it's called staves.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's one half of the deck is the minor arcana. The
Yes.
major arcana are 22 cards going from 0 to 21.
Major arcana
Yeah,
coming from zero, from 0 to 24,
21.
21.
So there's 22 cards total
Oh, 0
being
to
counted
21.
from 0 to 21.
Totally
Mm-hmm.
22 suits.
22 cards.
Oh, 22 cards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So 22 cards plus 4 multiplied 10. That's 40.
Yep,
40 plus 20,
78 cards.
78 cards.
This is the
Okay.
structure of a tarot deck.
Okay. So every stack of tarot has 78 cards.
Yes.
Okay.
And they're all in the same structure.
On the same
So major arcana, minor arcana.
mm-hmm.
Minor arcana is split up by the pips and the courts and the four suits.
Mm-hmm.
So all tarot decks have that structure.
Mm.
All
I
right.
learned a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
So I use the cards to understand about life and understand about cultures.
Mm.
Because each card has a meaning. And and I call it a lens or a perspective onto an aspect of life.
Oh.
And so each card, so like the chariot, the concept of the chariot will be similar no matter which deck you look at.
Uh-huh.
They will have an idea of a chariot, and
Mm-hmm.
it will be key 7.
Mm-hmm.
And so you could go to the different decks and look at what is the concept of the chariot between each deck.
Didn't get it. So let me repeat. You said you use this tarot card to learn about philosophy and culture. So you just randomly pick one card and look at it, and what does it say?
That's a different use of the cards. I'm talking about just studying the cards.
Studying the card.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it's not about picking them at random. It's actually understanding each card.
Oh, so each card has a meaning.
Yes.
Hmm. Okay. So you know every card.
I try. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to learn all 78 cards. It takes a while. So
Wow.
you have to enjoy the process of the studying.
Well, I
Because it
mean,
takes
it's
a while.
only a card.
Mhm.
Like this is just a picture. For me, I think it's just a picture.
Mhm.
So there is a lot of knowledge
Mhm.
in it.
Mhm.
So how do you learn it?
So you read about them. So you read
Read?
the books.
So like I have this card.
Mhm.
It says Ace of Pentacles.
Mhm.
Like this. Ace of Pentacles. What does this mean?
So you know it's part of the minor arcana.
Mm-hmm.
So it's part of the minor mysteries. So one of the differences, like when you're interpreting a card,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you first think of, is this part of the major arcana or the minor arcana? The
Mm-hmm.
major arcana is part of the greater mysteries, which is the greater concepts of life.
Mm-hmm.
The minor arcana is the lesser mysteries,
Mm-hmm.
which is about more of the mundane aspects of life.
More of the what?
Mundane, like kind of really rooted into day to day life,
Mm-hmm.
instead of the grander concepts of like, why am I here? What am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
So that would be more like the major arcana. Minor arcana is like, what am I doing today?
Oh, okay.
So that would be the first indication when you read
Mm-hmm.
the Ace of Pentacles, is that this is talking about a day to day life. Another
Mm-hmm.
thing is that it's a 1.
Okay, so ace here means one.
Yeah.
One of is
Of
just
Pentacles.
one of pentacles.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So you read the card 2 ways. One is its number.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how you read pip cards. One is you look at the number, and then the other one is that you look at the suit.
Number is one.
So you think about, what does 1 mean?
One. One.
Yeah. And so
One
then
means
you do research and you read into the concept of 1
from where?
for reading books.
Books about tarot or books
About, well, numerology,
about
but it also can be anything. So so now you, as a complete novice, like you haven't done any studying on numerology,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so when I ask you, what is the concept of 1, what do
Mm-hmm.
you start thinking of?
I think one means the beginning of something.
That is its common interpretation.
Yes.
It's the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yes. One means single. Right?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the beginning.
Mhm.
So that's the number. And then you cross that with the suit,
Pentacles.
pentacles.
Mhm.
And so the other way of interpreting the suits is by their element. So pentacles is the earth element. Are you familiar with the 4 elements? There's earth, air, fire, water.
Oh, that's a Chinese theory, right?
Yeah, you have 5.
Oh, yeah.
Wood.
Food, wood, water, fire, earth.
Yeah.
So it's different from.
Yeah.
Oh, you have 4.
Yep.
Okay.
So you read up about the elements.
Mm-hmm.
What do the various elements mean? And so when you think of earth, what do you think of?
Earth, I think of crops,
Mm-hmm.
crops, life,
Mm-hmm.
life from the earth.
Mm-hmm. Now put together one and
Mhm.
earth. How does the concept of one and earth go together? Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, so everyone has their own understanding of the meaning of this tarot
Yes.
card.
Yes.
Hmm. So what's
Oh, like what you said, that's very close to it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. But people can have different perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
They have their own understanding,
Exactly.
their own perceiving,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. And
Mm.
so every deck is discussing their own perspective.
Every deck is different.
Mhm.
Oh.
So every deck has the same structure,
Mm-hmm.
but they discuss the concept of the first of Earth in a different way
Huh. In a different way.
because it's their perspective.
Okay.
It's their personal experiences
But
painting.
uh, if you take another card from the other deck, the same will they have the same Ace of Pentacles?
They will have something about the first of Earth.
First of Earth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But the word is different.
Sometimes it'll say one, sometimes it'll say ace.
Oh.
Sometimes it'll say pentacles, sometimes coins, orbs, rocks, stones, or
Oh.
plain old earth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So effectively, these 4 suits map to the 4 elements. And so
Mm-hmm.
they're always mapping to these 4 elements.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
So sometimes, on a rare case, do they just bluntly say fire, air, water, earth?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they just bluntly just say that. But most of the time, they say something like wands, swords, cups, and coins.
Oh. Interesting. Let's see. Let's read another one.
Yeah, choose another one.
I will just randomly
Yeah.
to say it.
What is this?
What does this mean?
This is, so it uses Roman numerals, Roman numbering system. So this is 6.
Oh, V
V.
means 5.
Yep.
And I means 1.
Yep.
So totally 6.
Yep.
6, and then this is also pentacle.
Yes.
Okay. So this is 6 plus pentacles.
Mm-hmm.
What does this mean?
Okay, so the concept of the number 6 is a little bit more difficult to go over. Because so then you're like, 1 was kind of easy because like, yeah, you have generally a concept of what 1 is, the first is, but getting into 6, you'll probably want to read up on 6. So then another thing you can do is you can look at the image. What's happening in the image?
The image is a guy, and there's 2 beggars on his hand,
Mhm.
beside him,
Mhm.
and there's a scale in his hand.
Mhm.
He's giving something to a man,
Yep.
to the beggar.
So he's giving stuff to another person.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when there's a scale on his hand
What does scales kind of mean?
means fair
Yeah.
or unfair.
Mhm.
You know what? I think of this picture. This picture makes me think of something. The scale means fair, and the guy rich, who seems richer than the two beggars, and the rich guy is giving something.
It's
to-
considered the card of generosity.
Oh, generosity, yes, giving, right?
Yeah, but fairly. Not overextending yourself. So, but
Oh,
being generous, but not hurting yourself while you're doing it.
interesting.
So you read it. You read it just like how other people read it.
Wow. I think I think it's quite interesting, right?
Yeah. And so what it is, so now this card is discussing generosity, right?
Uh-huh.
And so now you can go to other Six of Earth cards in other decks, and you can learn about their concept of generosity.
So these cards alone are saying about generosity. And you mean I can take another card from another deck? Will they have the same thing? The same six pentacles?
Yep.
Oh, but the picture is different.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
But it's generally about something about generosity.
Oh, so they are standing the same thing, but expressing them, presenting them in different ways.
Exactly.
Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles.
And this is from the Light Seers deck.
The light seers. So this deck, this card from the light of seers, the same concept of Six of Pentacles,
Mm-hmm.
but the picture is different.
Yes.
And you said Six of Pentacles generally means generosity.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can see. So this card, it has, so someone is giving and the other one is taking,
Yeah.
right?
Receiving. Yeah.
Receiving. But I can't tell any generosity.
Yeah. So this
from
one
this.
is talking about the concept as giving and
Giving.
receiving.
Mm-hmm.
But also notice in the background there is this figure.
8.
It's not an 8, it's an infinity symbol.
Oh, infinity. Yes.
So it's the idea is that giving is also receiving.
Yeah. So it connects with generosity.
Mm-hmm. Here it is in this deck.
Oh.
So this is the Brady Tarot. So altruism is also like a form of generosity. It's a very giving nature. It's doing things selflessly.
Oh. Six. Six of altruism.
So it's the suit is roots, so earth, and the card description is altruism.
Oh. So this is Six of Earth. Six of
Yeah, so this is
Earth.
6 of Earth. These
Mhm.
are all 6 of Earth cards, but they're
Mhm.
named differently. So this one, instead of Earth, is called Roots.
Mhm.
The other one was called, the other two were Pentacles, and
Mhm.
this one is Orbs. But they're all about the 6th step of Earth.
Oh, this one is six of orbs.
Mhm.
What does orbs?
Earth. It's still
Orbs.
another symbol of kind of the Earth element.
Oh, six of orbs. Oh, the giver. It
Mhm.
also has the word says the giver.
Yep. And it has the scale symbol again.
Hmm. Yeah.
So see how they're like using similar symbolism,
Uh-huh.
but they also are saying something a little bit different. This one is being blunt and saying the giver.
Uh-huh.
You know, that one is saying altruism, which is doing good selflessly.
Oh, altruism means taking care of others.
Yeah,
Right?
selflessly. Yeah.
Selfless. Okay. Altruism. All these four different cards, they kind of have the same meaning,
Mhm.
right?
A little, they're just ever so slightly different, and they tell you different things. Like the Brady Tarot. Notice the symbolism in the Brady Tarot.
Mm-hmm. Which one? Here?
So this one. And
Mm-hmm.
notice how that one doesn't really align with the symbolism with the other ones, right?
Yeah.
That's because there's a story behind it.
Oh, there's a snake
Mm-hmm.
on it and a rabbit.
Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's referencing a specific story.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is like, for example, like a cultural deck. And that this one is teaching about animals, North American animals.
Hmm.
And so it's telling a story about the hare and the snake.
Hare. Oh, it's not a rabbit.
Yeah.
A a hare and a snake.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so it's telling us that story. And so through learning, having this deck and learning this deck, I
Mm-hmm.
then was able to learn about the story.
Oh, the North American culture.
Yeah.
Wow,
But
that's
about animal behavior specifically. It's the animal behavior
uh-huh.
and stories about animal behavior from North America.
This is so cool. Wow, I like this. So the whole deck of this whole deck of uh, tarot, you if you learn each of the card, you can learn the almost the all the North American culture about animals.
Yeah. How animal behavior of North America. Like for
And
example,
also,
here's a brown bear.
mm-hmm.
And
Oh,
and so it's using the effectively the culture, the behavior of the brown bear
mm-hmm.
to teach you more about the concept of strength.
Mm.
Like this one is a big cat uh, resting and
Oh,
having a perspective.
oh yeah, a leopard. Is
Mm-hmm.
this a
I
leopard?
think so.
Leopard resting on a tree.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, three of
And then this
one.
one was teaching about the behavior of these two birds.
Mm-hmm.
One is a hawk.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what the other one is.
Blue
It might be a
bird.
bluebird.
Mm-hmm.
But it's discussing their behaviors.
Mm-hmm. Oh, someone is catching them using an arrow.
Yeah, so the suit is the suit of arrows.
Oh, the suit. Oh, it's eight. Eight arrows.
Yeah, 8 of arrows. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then it's considered about oppression.
Oh, oppression.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Suit of arrows is a harsh suit.
suit of arrows.
Suit of air, swords, arrows. Yeah,
Oh,
it's kind of
so
harsh.
oh, I see. Very interesting.
So that's why I study these, so that I can learn more.
I think there's a lot to learn, right?
Oh yeah.
They have 78 cards.
Yep.
And one card, how long will it take?
Oh, like you could easily spend a week studying one card.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, just trying to remember it, trying to studying all the symbolism,
Mm-hmm.
trying to remember it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you just sat there and just focused on the one card, yeah, you could easily spend like a week just researching one card. So part of it is learning the structure, and so that's very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of trying to learn each individual card
Mm-hmm.
and memorizing the one card as
Mm-hmm.
isolated, you instead try to study the context of the cards.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, like how I was saying, is that you learn the numbers, the numerology, and
Yeah.
you learn the element.
Mm-hmm.
So you learn the 10 numbers
Uh-huh.
plus the 4 suits,
Yes.
right? And now you can cross them,
Mm-hmm.
and now you can understand 40 cards.
Yes.
So you studied only
10 numbers.
10 numbers and 4 suits, but now you can understand 40 cards.
Yes. But still, yeah, I think that's a good way to learn. Yeah. The research, I'm not the research.
Yeah.
I can't do like it can take me a day and I I didn't find anything I want.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating. So I don't like it.
Yeah, one of the things I did is that I learned video editing.
Mm-hmm.
So then I could teach Emily how to do the video editing.
Yeah.
So we both came from zero, but I learned it, and then I was like, okay, now I'm going to teach you everything that I learned.
Yeah.
And she was like, this is really fidgety. Really? Really? This is really fidgety.
Yeah. You know what? It took me like 2 hours to figure out how to delete, how to select one clip. Yeah, not the existing clip. Like
Yeah,
how
like a
to,
sub part of the video.
yeah,
How to select it. Yeah.
yeah. What's that feature called? Like you
Yeah, split.
split. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it took me 2 hours to figure out how to sleep. How to sleep. Oh, that's very. Yeah, I'm not good at it. I'm not
Yeah.
proud of it. Yeah.
So that was just like the education part of tarot. Is studying the tarot just to learn about it. That there's 78 slices of life,
Mm-hmm.
and you learn about each slice, and then you get another deck and you learn someone else's perspective on each of these slices.
Mm-hmm.
So you can keep on getting a grander and grander scope of idea of how things work from different perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great for studying cultures.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say the generosity card, the 6 of
Mm-hmm.
earth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now if someone made a deck that's cultural, that's talking about a specific culture,
Mm-hmm.
then it can show you how that culture approaches generosity.
Yes.
Let's take, for example, this deck from 1912.
Mm-hmm.
They decided to demonstrate generosity through the idea of a rich man and a poor man.
Mm-hmm.
That was their idea in 1912 of generosity, was this rich versus poor. And then did you see from the more modern decks, it was just simple hands.
Mm-hmm.
So they weren't trying to identify who the giver and receiver was. It was just talking about giving and receiving.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't trying to talk about class.
Yes. Mm.
And so just that has a cultural difference from time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fascinating.
Yeah, I think it's so cool. So, so I guess on the market right now, there are a lot of decks of tarot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And each deck is a world, is a whole new world,
Yeah.
right?
Every deck is a new world. Yeah. Now, many decks do emulate that one deck that I told you was kind of like the primary deck. that's become the primary deck, the Rider-Waite-Smith deck.
This one?
Yep.
Mhm.
So many decks are just trying to improve the artwork on that deck or to modernize the deck. So they're not really trying to talk to you about different cultures. They're kind of still talking about the same thing, but just trying to show you it in a different imagery. So I kind of stay away from those decks because I really approach tarot from trying to learn about new perspectives of life and about new cultures.
Oh,
So those are the
okay.
ones that I focus on personally.
Okay. So I guess among the so many new decks of tarot, you need to make a choice to you need to make a decision which one to choose,
Yes.
right?
Yes. I think I see this deck and I go, oh, I can learn something from this deck. And then I get it. And and I don't get around to studying it. So I'm still studying the Spirit Keepers Tarot.
Spirit Keepers.
Yeah, the Spirit Keepers Tarot. Spirit Keepers Tarot. So this is the one that I'm studying the most. This one has an enormous amount of information with it.
Wow. So in order to study this deck of tarot, you need to buy the books to learn it.
Oh yes, I only get decks that come with books. Not all decks come with books.
Oh my God. They come with the books.
So I only get decks that also have books.
So they said they sell it as a whole.
Oftentimes they're sold as wholes, sometimes they're sold separately.
So like when you buy the whole thing, you need to spend money. It's just a very small part of it. Like the price of the thing. The more thing is you need to put a lot of energy and time on it to study it.
Yeah.
But I guess the process of starting it is very enjoyable.
Yeah. Not as enjoyable as having the knowledge. I wish I could just like take the book and like insert it into my brain. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. So it takes time, it takes energy, you know, and there are so many things that I want to be doing. Like right now, instead of studying the tarot, I'm editing these videos. You know, there's only so much that I can do in a day.
I can understand. Like I have so many things that I'm excited about. It's already not my priority things to do.
Yeah.
I totally understand.
Yeah, so one of the things I've tried to do is I've tried to make sure that I don't end up, you know, wasting my life.
Yes.
You know, because you can, if you just follow around, you know, you could end up feeling like you've had an unfulfilled life. Like when you die and you look back on your life, what do you want to see have happened or the impact that you have made? And so one of the things I do is I try to figure that out. Like what do I want to see back? If when I die I'm allowed to see back on my life, what do I want to see? And my decision was I want to see that I've made some sort of impact on society, that I have some way, somehow made society just a little bit better. And so then I prioritize those activities. So that's like my volunteer work. That's like me applying to become a foster parent. You know, those I prioritize those activities because those are the things that I feel like could help me make a positive impact on society. And I prioritized these YouTube videos because I felt that perhaps talking about things may provide a positive impact on society. Emily, why don't you tell us why you came up with the idea to do this channel?
Oh, okay. So, you know what? Before we made this channel, I began to share my daily life on my social media, and I think I began it like 1 month ago or two months ago, and I enjoyed it, and I think it's very fun. So I immediately think of Elizabeth that, oh, we can do it together. Together we can create more things, and also I think she will also think it's fun, and it will give her a lot of joy and cheer her. Basically, I just want to cheer her up because, like, every time when I was in deep depression state, she is always the one who supports me. And now I finally get out of depression, and I'm I'm really happy every day. And I did the social media thing, and I enjoyed it. So I want to share it with Elizabeth. I want her to share the enjoy. That's my first purpose of it.
Yeah. So recently, Emily went through a long 8-month bout of depression. And I am experienced with going in and out of depression. I have been suffering from going in and out of depression probably for close to 25 years. And so I've kind of gotten like a handle on how one can get depressed and how one can get out of it. And so I sympathized a lot with the situation that Emily was going through, and I tried the best I could to be supportive of her. And I think what was important was reminding her that the depression would end, that I had been in and out of it, and that it always has an end. And that really helped her to know that this could possibly stop.
Yeah, I finally it finally the depression finally stopped, and I get get very happy every day, and I think, okay, it's my time to help her to cheer up. Yeah, because I really benefit a lot from her. So what about you?
So I decided to join Emily on this channel to as part of my way of fulfilling my life's goals. And so I've thought a lot about how to have a meaningful life. So I've been suffering from a chronic illness for the past 12 years, which really forced me to figure out what makes someone have a good quality life. Because I have been so physically incapacitated for so long, I had to figure out how to make the most out of the life that I have. And so I had thought through that the best way to lead one's life is to help improve society, no matter how small you do it. I believe in the butterfly effect, so I believe that doing very small things can eventually have a large impact. And so one of the things I do actually is I'm very um, prolific on Reddit. I talk a lot on Reddit, and there are times when people comment back to me and they say, "Thank you very, very much. You've really made a difference." And so I don't know how much of an impact I've made on these people who have said thank you, but I believe that even though it's small, it could ripple out and become a bigger impact. And so I just try to do these things that could possibly help other people. And so, just like Reddit is a medium for communicating with people, YouTube is also a medium for communicating with people. And so, we don't intend this channel to be just a one way mode of communication. We want to create a community here. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your questions and your comments and your opinions, and we want to be able to engage with you. And so, we do hope that you will work with us and engage with us as well. Like, subscribe, and comment.
Yeah. Yes.
That's basically what it needs in order for us to spread our reach.
Yeah.
if you think that anything that we're doing is valuable, liking, subscribing, and commenting uh, can help improve our reach. But really, what's important to us is that we communicate with you as an individual. And so, if you want to say something to us, please comment and we'll get back to you.
Yeah, I agree with you. And also, I think that most people, including me, like I never bother. I am never bothered to like click the thumb up or like
I'm
icon.
terrible at that too.
Yeah, I think I enjoyed, even though I enjoy the video so much, I never bothered to do that.
Yeah.
I know it's a bad habit, but since we become the creator, the content creator, I realized how important it is for the creator that if you can give them a thumb up or a comment or a like, it will help more people to see the channel.
I want to finish the tarot stuff. What I've been discussing is the educational aspect of tarot, and that is the primary reason why I study tarot, is actually the educational aspect. So the other aspect of tarot is how when I first gave you the cards, the very first thing you did was, oh, so I select one at random, right?
Yes.
So that's the other aspect of tarot, is selecting cards at random and then using that randomness for something. What often people think of when they think of tarot is divination, which is divination is trying to see into something, trying to like see into the future, or see into how someone's thinking, or see into a situation that you may not be able to see all of it yourself. Then maybe the cards could give you a clue. So that's the most common thought of way of using tarot is trying to use it for its predictive aspect. But that is making an assumption that there is like another being who is controlling the randomness of the cards.
Uh-huh.
And so that is just a whole other topic of whether or not there is a possibility of a being who can manipulate the randomness of the cards so that when you pick one at random, you're actually picking a card specifically selected by this other being. That is just completely separate whether or not you believe in those concepts. You can still use the randomness of the cards without believing that there is another being working with the cards, working with you through the cards. You don't have to believe that there's another entity working with you. Okay. You can believe in just the randomness.
Okay.
As one of my friends who was very interesting, I found out that he got into tarot and he called it hacking the brain.
Hacking the brain.
Yeah, he was another programmer. And so of course he was thinking of it from that aspect. He was thinking of it as hacking the brain. And I think of it in very similar terms too. What a card can do is help expand your thinking or direct your thinking into a certain way. So let's say that like you're thinking about a topic very close-mindedly and you're having trouble thinking expandedly. So you can pick up a card at random or a couple cards at random and you can look at it and you can say, what is this making me, taking the information that I know about these cards, how does that apply to the thing that I'm thinking about? And that can often help expand your thinking. Another way of using it is to narrow your thinking. So let's say you're thinking of things like all kinds of possibilities and you're like, I don't even know where to start. You can pick a card at random and you can think, I could start here and I could think about it in this way. How does that work? And now, when you do things like that, sometimes it helps to think about something in the direction that it's sending you, but sometimes it works to think about something in the opposite direction. Because sometimes just thinking about it in a certain way makes you go, oh no, it's not that. But knowing what it's not helps you to figure out what it is.
Yeah.
And so that's a way of just like letting your brain jump around and think about things in different ways, so that you're either not thinking about too much or you're not thinking about too little. It can just help you to think about a perspective differently. Like one time, I had a problem and I was trying to think of how should I approach this problem. And I was like, let me pick a card at random. And I picked the Sun card, which is often about shedding light on situations. So I was thinking about it and I said to myself, well, shedding light on it, would talking about this situation and getting more input on the situation, would that really improve it? Maybe I should try that approach. So you can use it for things like that.
I think this kind of a little like fortune teller.
Yeah.
Right?
So that is like the perspective of fortune telling. Are you using fortune telling to hack the brain? Or are you believing that an entity is trying to tell you something through the cards? So one is just being like, I know that my brain will make random neural connections and could be helpful to create different pathways through my brain. Or you could think, I need a higher being's assistance in guiding me through this issue.
Oh, I think I'm the latter kind of person. Who, like, I think it's someone who is higher than me is telling me something
Through
and
the cards.
giving me directions.
I have had many experiences with tarot readings in which it feels like there is a higher consciousness, like a higher being, communicating through the cards. It's very eerie. But I also understand that not very many people believe in that and are put off by it. In fact, I was very put off by the concept when I first started. And
Put
in
off
fact,
by which concept?
the concept of a higher being working through the cards. I didn't
Oh.
like that concept. I did not want to think about it that way. I was just very put off by the idea that using the cards was working with another being. I just wanted to see the cards as pieces of paper.
What about now?
Now, I'm a skeptic, so I approach it both ways simultaneously. And then the question is, what being? And is there multiple beings? So some people believe that each deck is its own being. Each individual specific deck has its own entity communicating with
you. Really?
Yeah, some people believe in that concept.
Okay.
Some people believe that it is your holy guardian angel, and there are many who believe that the holy guardian angel is also actually your own higher self. It is the part of yourself that is connected to divinity.
Oh, interesting.
So that's often called the holy guardian angel or the higher self. So some people approach it that the higher being is actually the higher version of yourself communicating with your lower version, your earthly version of yourself through the cards.
Interesting.
And then some people think that they could use the cards to connect with very specific beings. So let's say various gods, like Hecate, Apollo, or some of the Buddhavistas. That you could connect with a very specific entity and you could encourage that entity to communicate to you through the cards. I think from my experiences, considering that I have had eerie experiences, eerie as in it just seems like the only answer is that someone was communicating to me through the cards. So I believe that if there is an entity communicating to me through the cards, I think it's more probable that it's my own higher self.
Could be, yeah.
So I think it's like my higher self, my holy guardian angel, my the version of me that's connected with the divinity. that version of me is communicating back to myself through the cards.
Yeah, yeah.
But I also like to keep things grounded. I like to see both simultaneously. So I like to see things grounded.
Mm-hmm.
So I think on one hand, oh my goodness, did something higher like communicate with me?
Uh-huh.
And then on the other hand, I'll simultaneously think that just made really good neural connections in my brain
Mm-hmm.
and just made me understand things better. So I
Mm.
kind of I kind of focus on both simultaneously.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I don't know. I don't
Yes.
know.
Mhm.
But some of my experiences have been very strange. I mean, can be a coincidence. It could
Mhm.
be that my brain ran away from me.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I learned so much today about the tarot, and I think there's so much more to learn.
Oh yes.
Right? We
Oh
can
yes.
talk about it in the future. It will be
Yeah.
a very good
I mean,
topic.
I have 2 bookshelves filled with tarot books. Like so each bookshelf is about this wide,
Mm-hmm.
and I have 2 of them.
Wow.
No, I have not read all the books. Yes,
Uh-huh.
I really wish I could. But it's
Yeah.
very hard because let's take so
Mhm.
my favorite tarot deck is Spirit Keeper's Tarot. My
Mhm.
favorite author is Benabel Wen, and she produces a lot of content. And I will read and reread and reread the same
Mm.
part.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have even created flashcards. I had a flashcard app. And so as I was reading, I would then create flashcards for myself. And then every day I would go through the flashcards so that I could try to remember all the concepts because
Wow.
it's so hard.
You really put a lot of energy on it,
Yeah,
a
for
lot
a
of
while.
effort.
Yeah, for a while there, my top priority was working on tarot. Yeah, for a while there.
Wow. How many hours did you spend on it?
Like a couple hours every day for a couple of years.
Couple of years.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
And I remember you have the habit of taking notes,
Yeah,
right?
I've taken a lot of notes. I do a lot of highlighting.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to do the flashcards so I could try to remember everything, and I can't remember everything. I still can't. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
all those hours that I've worked on, like I can't remember all of it.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think it's not your your you are not alone. Like I think most people do. We can't remember things. We forget things.
Yeah,
Yeah, I should say we forget things, and we thought we have a good memory. No, we forget things so easily.
you can't
Yeah,
remember what you forgot.
yeah,
That actually came up in therapy.
mm-hmm.
Like in couples counseling, that
Uh-huh.
actually came up of just like a couple of things that like I had forgotten.
Uh-huh.
And like the therapist was like, "Is there anything else that you've forgotten?" And I said, "I can't remember what I've forgotten. I forgot
Yeah,
it."
yeah, yeah. How can we remember what we forgot?
It's so strange because Lopez and Mr. Liz on a
Mm-hmm.
regular basis bring up events that I don't remember.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it's so
Okay.
strange to me because it's like, wow, there's so much of my life
Mm-hmm.
that
I
is not
forgot.
a part of me anymore because they're not my stories anymore. They're not
Mm-hmm.
in my memory, they're not part of my stories.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's just so much life that I've lived that I don't remember.
Hmm. I think it's not a bad thing because our brain, I think our brain is very limited. If you put all these things in your brain, you can't put other things.
Yeah,
So the things you forgot were replaced by new things.
yeah.
So don't worry.
Sometimes Lopez and Mr. Liz get frustrated when I don't remember. So I guess it seems that I have more of a forgetfulness of things that have happened than than normal. Oh, and then in terms of being a witness, I have another problem is that I have face blindness.
Face blindness.
I can't recognize people.
Wow. How come? What's it feel like? Like you can't remember people's face.
So when I was younger,
Uh-huh.
I used to describe it as people I'm supposed to know and people I'm not supposed to know.
Uh-huh.
Because there were people who I just couldn't recognize. And so I thought that it was something telling me that I'm just not supposed to know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm not supposed to be friends with them. I'm not supposed to get to know them
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know who they are. I can't recognize them.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was like this type of face that I was just always like, oh, like basically if they didn't have anything distinctive about them, I just thought that that meant that I wasn't supposed to know them. So that's how I originally interpreted it when I was young.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then it turns out that it was face blindness. Yeah.
So so in order to let you to recognize them, people need to have a very distinctable face,
Yeah.
like a big nose or
Yeah.
big mouth.
Yeah.
And people like who are look very common and have no characteristic will not be
It'll be very
recognized.
difficult for me. Yeah. I mean, of
Oh.
course, everyone has unique features. It's that it takes me longer to identify those unique features than a normal person.
Hmm.
So I have to
Interesting.
see a person again and again and again.
Oh, and finally, you remember them.
Yeah, finally I pick up on the unique features of them. Like their hairline, their eyebrows, their nose, their teeth, their lip shape, how they smile. That's a big one, is how people's lips move. So then I have to see your lips move for a while
Mm-hmm.
before I can start remembering your particular lips.
Oh, interesting. I never remember people through these details,
Mm-hmm.
and on the contrary to you, like remembering face is my it's like my talent.
Yeah,
Like
opposite of me.
yeah, like as long as I see someone once, I can remember their
Wow.
face.
See,
And
I can't even
no, it's not
comprehend
to
that.
remember their face. It's next time when I see you again, I can recognize. Oh, I saw you somewhere.
I have no idea. So we
Mhm.
have parties a lot. Mr. Liz likes to host his coworkers. So very often, many of his coworkers come back and back and back, and
Mhm.
it takes me a while
Uh-huh.
before I can start recognizing people. It can take me definitely up to a year before I can recognize the same person has been showing up.
Oh,
And then I still don't
wow.
know their name
Yeah.
because it took me so long to identify this unique face
Mhm.
that I have long since not associated this name with this face because I need to have a face to associate a name with it.
Mhm.
And then once I finally have a face, then it's like, well, how do I now know the name to this face? uh,
Mhm. Yeah.
and by then it's embarrassing.
Yes. Remembering face, that is what I'm good at. But remembering name is another thing. I can't
Cannot.
remember. I can't remember people's names. And also, I should like I mean like this guy. She's He's Sam. And next time I see her, I see him and say, "Hey, so I remember you are Peter, right?" And they said, "Oh no,
No.
I'm Sam." He said, "Oh, why can't I just ask again your name?" And instead I said another name, and I feel like very confident. And, oh, so you are Peter? He said, no. It's very embarrassing.
Oh, it is so embarrassing.
And also, so so that's why I said I have very bad short-term memory. So they just tell me what their name is, and I forgot immediately.
Well,
Can't remember at
I
all.
can't remember.
If you like us, please like, subscribe, and comment.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.